I want you right now to tell us what your craziest thing you've exposed. It doesn't have to be something that you can't talk about. Something that you've already exposed that was so crazy, that maybe our listeners or viewers don't know about, and it actually was the first moment you were like, wow, I'm actually given
Yeah.
some pretty legitimate info here, and this could get pretty crazy. The
So
first one.
it's in terms of relatability. I think they took the YouTubers doing satanic rituals the most. Like they recepted to that the most. Even though it's not that shocking, there's other shocking topics you would think
Yeah.
that they would grasp onto, but YouTubers doing satanic rituals was definitely something they all were
Mhm.
shocked on because I don't think they expect it.
That's crazy. Like what are the satanic rituals that they do and that they go
Yeah.
through?
So the thing is that I think a lot of people get shocked when they hear that a lot of famous YouTubers do satanic rituals because not that satanic rituals are shocking. Some
Mhm.
people don't find it shocking because a lot of famous people and celebrities in the entertainment industry do it anyway.
Mhm.
And this information is accessible. You don't need me to tell you this. You can Google this. Some
Mhm.
of them are actually very verbal about this. Some celebrities outright tell you that they
Mhm.
do satanic rituals or that they worship Satan. But no one expects it from a YouTuber because YouTubers are more they're homebound. You know, they're
Yeah.
from your state, they're from your neighborhood. But no, they do satanic rituals. They get invited into the industry, and you gotta remember the entire entertainment industry, majority of it, if not all of it, is satanic. You know, you need to sign your name in blood for you to actually get really up there. And I'm not talking like a few 100,000 followers. I'm talking in the high millions.
Wow.
Not your type of millions.
Yeah.
You're famous and you have millions of followers, but you're considered very fortunate. But majority of the case, that's not how it works.
Yeah. That's pretty insane because like I've noticed like people talking about that, but I never really believed it. It's so hard to believe, especially like on social media. But maybe
Some YouTubers are, if you know how to catch the
yeah.
symbolism, if you know what like all the satanic symbolism and what to
Mhm.
look out for,
Mhm.
you'll see it. They rep it out there. They rep out the symbolism,
Mhm.
but just that some people don't catch it. You will have a YouTuber right now that will openly and seriously say that I worship Satan and I do satanic rituals and I'll be slicing a live chicken in my closet, and everyone would be like, oh my god, same. You know what I mean? Like they don't actually
Wow.
catch on sometimes.
So that's basically what they will do. They would like
It
cut
depends on
chickens and
that's like low grade. That's not even like the serious stuff. It's more of if they have over 10 million followers, there's usually a more personal sacrifice that has to happen. So
Mhm.
maybe a close family member, maybe a friend, um, maybe themselves. Not literally they have to harm themselves, but they have to give up themselves. They basically have to whore themselves out to everyone in the industry. And this isn't shocking because this happens in modeling, this happens in acting, this happens in the singing industry. It doesn't matter which industry it's in.
Mhm.
It's all the same. Fame is fame, and
Yeah.
every piece of fame has a price.
Wow.
And some people pay it. You'd be surprised. I get a lot of comments where people are like, "Oh, I don't believe that anyone does satanic rituals or that they or that." And here's the thing: whether you worship Satan or not, it's irrelevant.
Mhm.
Like whether you believe in God or religion or Satan, it's all irrelevant. You still need to do what they ask you to do, because it's a form of one. They record it, so they can use it against you.
Wow.
So if you ever try to like leave from them or expose them, they'll expose you,
Oh man, no
right?
way.
The second thing is that a lot of times they force you to do extremely dirty acts. And so that can be like eating feces or having intercourse with an animal or having intercourse with just a whole bunch of other people. And they will record this.
Wow.
And they record it purposely so that they can ever use it against you if you ever want to say anything. And they do this a lot, especially with male artists. You would think female artists, male artists a lot too, because there's more of an ego attached to men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they will use it against you if they don't want to blackmail you first with anything random, but they will use it against you. They do record it. And what YouTuber would ever even speak about this anyway? Your career is gone the moment you do.
Wow. So did anyone ever approach you with
Yeah.
that?
When I was in Los Angeles, actually the party after VidCon, there was a
What?
man. Yeah, he was staring at me hardcore, Kareem, for like
Mhm.
20 minutes.
Mhm.
And everyone is watching him stare at me. So I guess they knew something. Like
Mhm.
they knew something was going on. It was like they were watching a lion who's trying to hunt an animal. And he finally approaches me and he sits right next to me and he starts talking to me, which is fine. And he asks me like who I am and he says who he is and he says that he is a producer for Nickelodeon. He's the one that helped do Drake and Josh.
Mhm.
And so while he's talking to me, he's like, you know, I really think that you have a good personality. Yeah, because you can get my persona in 10 minutes. you have a good personality, and I really think that you would be good like in casting, and you should come. We can put you in one of the new Nickelodeon shows. I would never want to be on Nickelodeon, so
I heard a lot about Nickelodeon. Yeah.
they're all the same. But anyway, here's the kicker. He puts his hand on my upper thigh and goes, anyway, you should come to my hotel room around like 4:30. Now it's it's like 3:15, 3:30 a.m. right now. Being the innocent person that I am, I'm thinking he meant like 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like the next day. And he was like, and I asked him, I was like, you mean like tomorrow as in 4 o'clock tomorrow? He said, no, 4 o'clock as in like a half an hour from now. So what does that mean? Right? So obviously he wanted sexual payment for a role. Not even a role. I don't even know what he was even offering at that point. But that's like nothing. That happens every single day. That can happen with you with a regular job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's not something that I find. It's still definitely an issue because it's considered sexual. It's sexual abuse at this rate. But the darker matters definitely go when you're already famous. You know that's when it gets you.
But before we go there, so this actually happened at VidCon.
Post VidCon.
Post
the
VidCon.
party after VidCon.
And it was it was someone that works with VidCon, or was it just like someone that's
From
invited?
From what I know, it wasn't someone that works for VidCon. There was no indication for me to know. All I know is that he was the guy who helped produce Drake and Josh on Nickelodeon. And at this party, it was like YouTubers.
Was it Dan Schneider? No, Dan Schneider.
It was not Dan Schneider.
Okay.
I wouldn't know Dan Schneider.
I think everyone knows Dan Schneider.
I would have walked right away. No, he was a much more built figure of a man. But there was like models there. There were YouTubers there. There were definitely celebrities there that were not from social media, like actual celebrities. I don't even know what this party was for. All I know is that it was heavily guarded. I got in just because someone brought me in. I wasn't even supposed to even be there. And I have no idea who he was until he introduced himself to me. And everyone was watching him do it. Like, everyone was watching him stare at me. Everyone was watching him approach me and touch my leg. And when I mean everyone, I'm talking about, like, the celebrities that were also there. So they knew something. Like, either this guy does this a lot or this is some routine. And when I didn't get up with him, their faces were absolutely shocked. Like, they've never seen someone just say no.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of times I get comments from people saying like, oh, who would, sell them their bodies, or who would murder someone for fame or something, you know what I mean? People will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met people that would openly say, yeah, I'll do it. To get famous money, yeah, they'll do it.
That's so insane. I mean, like, like nothing happened after that, because I feel like I would imagine that you would get shunned, because I heard, like, I was in the same boat. I'll be like, there is nobody out there.
After I walked away, these guys came up to me. They had to be models. They were quite good looking. They came up to me and they kind of like shunned me for it. They're like, "What are you doing? That's stupid. This guy is so and so and so. We would have traded spots with you." And I didn't know who they were. They didn't know who I was. So I kind of just looked at them. I didn't say anything. I just stared at them. And then after they saw that I didn't give a response, they just walked away. But look, that's it. That just shows you that they would actually switch places with me. And it's LA. Everyone there wants to be famous, and some people don't care what they have to give.
Wow, that's. I mean, it's like my mind is just blown right now with this stuff, because you hear about it, but you never think it's true. You never think it's actually happens.
I thought that way actually with webcams. You know how they say like the FBI, the government spies on you through webcams?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I used to always leave my webcam open, ironically, because I'm the one that's gonna. I was like, who's gonna spy on me, right? Okay, until one morning at like 3 o'clock. You know when you just wake up in the middle of the night for no reason? Like you just wake up, like something just tells you to wake? Oh, you
sometimes.
A deep sleeper?
I'm a deep sleeper.
I'm not. I wake up and I see like my webcam light's on. I'm like, why is it on for? So I go up to the camera and I'm like, oh my God. And all of a sudden a man speaks through it. He had to be Russian. He had like this thick Russian accent. He spoke through it. Karim, I shit myself.
No.
I screamed and I just unplugged the Mac. I was like, I'm done.
It's so crazy because I was just watching a video yesterday about that, about the Nest, the Nest cameras, they're like connected to the internet and people use them as security cameras. There was someone who hacked into it and he was like watching the guy's kid through the Nest camera, and he would actually speak, and he was speaking to the baby. It was so creepy, dude. And like it was legit, it was real, and the guy looked like disheveled because he just like, what the hell? And they probably recorded it, and like the camera was like, it was talking back to him and stuff, and he was like, who is this? What are you doing? And he's like, oh, I just hacked into your
And
Messed up.
I'm lucky. When I first installed that webcam, it asked me, "Do you want the light to turn on when the camera's on?" Because sometimes you don't want the light on. And I clicked yes.
but you
and I
have
was
to.
going to click no.
Yeah.
So I
I'm
would have
glad you
not
did.
known.
Yeah, because like it lets you know when it's recording or it's
Mhm.
on. That is freaky.
And I was sleeping, so what is it to watch? You know, like what do I do? I'm just
There's
like
some
dead.
freaky people out there.
Yeah.
Look.